When I first found out, I don't think I could sleep for 2 or 3 days. I was so angry. We packed up. When we found out, we just packed up, got in the car and went driving to find somewhere else to live. That's how angry we were about it. And we've only just finished building, the house isn't even finished yet. And we've spent all our money on this house, so it's sort of just so angry.
Point Lowly is home to long-term Whyalla resident Di Turner, who with her husband moved to Point Lowly for the lifestyle and the beauty of the area and to escape the industrialness of Whyalla. But only to find that their new home is going to be surrounded by a lot of industry as a result of the new proposed developments.
Right along the hills, along the skyline, right round to the sea. So that whole hill skyline is going to be industry. All the way back as you're driving in, they're going to have trains coming in, and that's another thing. It's become really quite loud and noisy, and the lovely part about this is it isn't loud, and it's the peace of the place is so special. Well, we don't really know. That's the big point, is that nobody's really telling us anything. They're just sort of saying, oh, we're going to build all this, and we're going, but they're not really telling us very much at all. They're saying it's not going to affect you, you've got no say or anything like that, and that really makes you angry and really upset, because we spent all our savings on moving out here and being self-sufficient, putting solar in, and we use rainwater only, and sort of trying to be environmentally friendly, and then we find out that all this is coming out here that's just not environmentally friendly at all. They don't seem to be taking anything into account. And we came out here to get away from the industry, because that's where we were in Whyalla. We just wanted somewhere that was nice, healthy to live. And it's just, they're following me.
When we heard about this, we consistently said to people within government that you actually need to engage our community early on before you've already set up the direction that you want to go in. Those of us that have entered into dialogue in good faith, and there have been people within the council officers, and people like myself, people at the Economic Development Board. That's a discussion with a few people holding either elected positions or senior positions within the community has been almost thrown back at us as consultation, which of course it's not. We were just trying to get a feel for what was proposed and making suggestions. And it's almost come back that the fact that we did engage in discussions means that we were agreeing to to the general direction to industrialise that area, and that's not the case. We've argued, some of us have argued consistently, that our community, the Whyalla community, should be the community with the predominant say about what happens in its backyard.
Well, I'm angry that they can just come in and take over a section of land because it suits them. This saves them, the companies, the most amount of money because it's the closest point to deep water. So it's just a matter of them saving money to the cost and the detriment of the community. They'll miss out on this beautiful area that we have used and own since time began.
So you've got public servants in Adelaide, elements of the political elite in Adelaide making decisions about our area without involvement of the wider community in our area. Added to that, you've obviously got a number of especially small mining companies that need access to infrastructure to export product. We understand that. But these companies, they're not based in this state. These people don't live in our community, and they've got tunnel vision when it comes to addressing their problems, but not taking into account the other uses of the Point Lowly Peninsula. There are alternative ways of exporting iron ore out of this community. We don't have to write off the Point Lowly Peninsula in order to do that. And it's interesting that when you look at the job numbers from the various activities that have been proposed out at the Point Lowly Peninsula, the diesel refinery and tank farm will only employ 6 people directly in this community. When you look at the 4 mining companies that make up the Port Bonython Bulk Users Group, each of those companies in this community is going to employ less than the number of people that you'll employ in a corner deli. So each company are looking to employ 10 or less people in our community. The port company itself that will, whichever one wins the expression of interest, I've had the port companies say to me, well, the port is not actually going to employ many people. So you could argue that down on the mine sites where the ore originates, there's far greater employment down there. But our community has been asked to make all the sacrifices in order to generate benefits for others, and we're not being told, you know, what decent trade-off we're going to get as a result of that. Now, I keep coming back to, you know, we're an industrial community, that's our bread and butter, but do all of this in a part of our backyard that is already used for those purposes, instead of wrecking our environmental and recreational assets.
People in the community seem to think, oh great, there'll be jobs and there'll be money coming into the town, but it's only short-lived, the construction stage, and then the dozen workers that'll be out there, it's a drop in the ocean as far as income to the community.
Unfortunately, much of the Lowly Peninsula is owned by the state government and is zoned industrial. Eddie Hughes is pushing for the rezoning of that land.
The zoning for that area goes back to the late 1980s, and it was a time in this community when it was a pretty desperate community for jobs. That situation's changed to a degree, which is not an argument against diversifying our economic base. If anything, it's an argument that we do need to diversify our economic base. But the zoning that was done at that time was done by a council that had no interest in community engagement and had no interest in the environmental attributes of the area concerned. And it was done at a time before there was an awareness about the cuttlefish aggregation in the area. Now, some of us have thought about changing that zoning over the years. But there's been the difficulty is that councils are not at liberty to just rezone without the approval of state government.
Well, I thought it was a bit stupid because Whyalla in the past hasn't really taken much pride in its beauty, and they've already made some mistakes when it comes to the look of the town. And now we have something on our back doorstep and it's so beautiful, and it's pretty much not man-made, it's all natural. So it doesn't really make sense that they're going to industrialise it right there. I'm sure there's other alternatives, whereas when they industrialise it, you can't just rip it down. So they'll have destroyed the natural element of Whyalla, which makes it so beautiful.
My children and I go down to Lowly regularly through the school holidays and summer weekends. We go down with friends, pitch tent on the beach, spend the day there, lolling in the waters. It's a great swimming beach. It's a fantastic swimming beach, and it is the only swimming beach that we have close to Whyalla that's really unspoiled.
Different sort of marine environment that's out there under the water, and you know, sunbaking and picnicking, and you know, and it's a great beach to. There's a bit of surf there on the right days, and the sand is just so white and hard and smooth. It's a beautiful area.
Lowly is definitely Whyalla's recreational area. I mean, it's our little piece of paradise. away from the industry